Your story is already deeply touching and beautifully structured. Here are some refinements to enhance the flow, emotional depth and readability. Nashr, a mother's last gift. A mother's love. In a small, cosy home, laughter and the scent of home-cooked meals filled the air. The walls were adorned with old photographs, snapshots of love, warmth and family. Mira, a gentle and kind-hearted mother in her late 30s, stood in the kitchen, humming a lullaby as she prepared dinner. The front door creaked open. Aryan, her 12-year-old son, trudged in, dragging his school bag behind him. His face showed the exhaustion of a long day, but the moment his mother smiled, his shoulders eased. "Aryan, wash your hands! Dinner is ready!" Mira called, setting the plates on the table. Aryan groaned. "Mom, why do you always make me eat so much? I'm not a kid anymore." Mira chuckled and ruffled his hair. "You'll always be my little boy, no matter how big you grow." He rolled his eyes but couldn't help smiling. Moments like these felt ordinary. He never realized how precious they were. The first signs of goodbye. A few days passed and Aryan began to notice changes. His mother's laughter came less often. Her cough lingered. She seemed weaker, though she never admitted it. One evening he found her lying in bed, looking paler than before. His heart clenched. He hurried to her side, offering her a glass of water. "Mom, are you okay?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Mira smiled weakly. "Of course, sweetheart, just a little tired." But Aryan wasn't convinced. He wanted to ask more, to demand the truth, but fear held him back. She patted the empty space beside her. "Come here, Aryan." Hesitantly, he sat down, his small fingers wrapping around hers. "Promise me something?" Mira asked, her voice soft yet firm. "What is it, Mom?" Her fingers gently brushed through his hair. "No matter what happens, always be kind, always help people, and never stop loving." Aryan frowned. "Why are you saying this?" She smiled, warm, knowing, heartbreaking, because love never dies. She held his hand one last time before closing her eyes. A single tear rolled down her cheek, and then silence. Aryan sat frozen, gripping her hand. But no matter how tightly he held on, she was gone. Life without her. 6 months had passed. The house was quieter now. The kitchen, once filled with laughter and the smell of warm meals, felt hollow. Aryan barely spoke. His father, Ravi, watched him with sorrowful eyes but struggled to find the right words. One evening, as they sat across from each other at the dinner table, Ravi reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. "She left this for you." Aryan hesitated. His fingers trembled as he carefully opened it, revealing a small key inside. There was also a letter. His breath caught as he unfolded it. "My dearest Aryan, if you are reading this, I am no longer with you. But don't be sad, my love, because I have left you something that will always remind you of me. Go to my closet. There's something waiting for you." Desperate to hold on to any piece of her, Aryan ran to her room. He opened the closet, his hands shaking, and spotted a small wooden box. With the key, he unlocked it. Inside, he found 2 things, a worn-out teddy bear and a diary. A mother's last gift. Aryan carefully picked up the teddy bear. It looked familiar, too familiar. A memory surfaced, him as a little boy, clinging to it every night, refusing to sleep without it. He opened the diary. On the first page, tucked inside, was an old photograph of him as a baby in his mother's arms. Underneath it, in her delicate handwriting, were the words, "Aryan, this teddy bear was your favorite when you were little. Every night you would fall asleep holding it, and I would whisper stories in your ear." Tears welled up as he turned the pages. "I know life is going to be hard without me, but whenever you miss me, hold this teddy bear close, and I will always be there." Aryan clutched the teddy bear against his chest. His shoulders trembled as silent sobs shook his body. For the first time in months, he allowed himself to cry. He wasn't alone. She was still with him, in the memories, in the warmth of her words, in the love she had left behind. Love never fades. Years passed. The pain never truly left, but Aryan learned to live with it. He grew up, carrying his mother's lessons in his heart. One evening, he stood in front of his childhood home, gazing up at the night sky. The stars twinkled, just like they did when his mother would tuck him in and whisper stories. Inside his old bedroom, on a neatly made bed, sat the same worn-out teddy bear. Beside it, the diary lay open, its pages filled with her love. Even though she was gone, Aryan finally understood what she had meant. love never dies. Enhancements made, refined flow, smoothed out sentence structures for better readability, deepened emotion, subtle word changes to enhance emotional depth without over-explaining. More natural dialogue, slight tweaks for authenticity in mother-son interactions. This version keeps the soul of your story intact while refining its impact. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments.